the Dark Hour exhibition.
And it kind of portrays what artists were going through at that time.
This whole epidemic is stressing us out so much that we don't know what to do.
We find ourselves carrying luggages through the pandemic.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ndombekaya Makaza. I am the Senior Manager for Department of Sports, Recreation, Arts and Culture at the Nelson Mandela Metro District. Today is a very special day, and I am excited and feel very honored and privileged to officially open the Dark Hour exhibition.
Igama lami ndingubulelani Boy. I'm the manager up at ArtEC Gallery. I'm also the curator for the Dark Hour. The Dark Hour is an exhibition which is a collaboration between the ArtEC Gallery and DSRAC.
In this exhibition, artists will use different mediums when expressing themselves. They will be using 2D and 3D, that is drawing, painting, printmaking, and sculpture.
My name is Brian Neufeld, born in Port Elizabeth, grew up in the dusty streets of the northern areas.
My name is Banele Jadai. I'm a visual artist, full-time visual artist. I'm working at ArtEC Gallery in Port Elizabeth.
These guys are household names around here, PE.
The Dark Hour, why have we named this exhibition as the Dark Hour?
When the topic came about, it came about with the present predicament that we are facing as a nation of our coronavirus pandemic and how it impacted on the livelihood of the artists not being able to make an ends meal, not being able to create the artwork and not being able to interact with one. And what was left was them to view what the world was actually projecting to them, and the world project a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety, and a lot of confusion.
The sadness, fear, loneliness, death, survival, tension, or peace, mayhem, and the behavioral shift that the pandemic has brought to the society at large.
We find ourselves carrying luggages through the pandemic, and it's these luggages that pushes us back and forcing us not to live our lives the way we wanted to live.
All of a sudden, everything that you were used to doing in a normal way, now it was like challenged, and now it was questioned, now it was scrutinized. Now you had to answer, now you had to explain, now you have to wash your hands 7 times a day, now you have to cover your mouth, now you have to do a lot of things that you weren't used to.
Our comes and our goes are being restricted. Factories are closing down. People are losing their minds. Families are losing family members. Our education, our children can't go to school. There was a time that our children couldn't go to school. You don't know what to expect.
In this exhibition, emphasis will also be on ways to revive hope.
And that is why I started using children. I use my subject matter as children because children, even though they know, they are aware of what's going on around us. They hear by our parents, they hear by their peers, they hear by the elders. But still the innocence of a child is something that you can never take away. We will get through this. We will get through this with faith, like the faith of a child, the happiness of a child, the harmony of a child. We will get through all this in due time.
I've used a sort of a clock type effect on this artwork, which for me, that circle is more like a circle of life. And the clock is going round and round. It's just for me to tell them that there's always a next day, there's always a next hour, there's always a next minute, there's always a next day. They can always reinvent themselves. They must not lose hope.
These artists have used visual metaphors to contextualize the concept to engage the viewer.
The dark hour kind of revealed from the spiritual, from the physical, from the race also, in terms of understanding the dynamics of how we are. Like, for example, there were a lot of artworks, not a lot, like a couple of artworks that kind of represented the claustrophobia of how other people felt during lockdown, not being able to have spaces, and then because they were told to stay at home, while the home is like a small space. And how also lockdown in other artists, it represented enforcement and like being taken out of a comfort zone, and how they were forced, it was made into becoming like a state of policing, where people were restricted, walks, were restricted, the activities out. And some others, it brought about the insanity that of how people like reveal their psychological, some I could say disorders in per se, their psychological ills like depression, bipolar, and how those things they emanate. And gender-based violence was also like a theme that kind of popped out. And
furthermore, these artists individually connected emotionally with the concept in order to enhance an emotional-driven outcome. Bringing together artists and ideas always ignites hope and further promotes awareness around the pandemic. This body of work provides more channels of dialogue, using visual art as a tool to communicate, and most importantly, to intrigue the intuitive mind of the artist and the viewer to further promote hope as they engage with the final product. Furthermore, this interaction or dialogue also remind artists that we are artists within affected global society.
so ArtEC Gallery, in collaboration with DSRAC, will host this Dark Hour exhibition from the 2nd of November until the 19th of November 2020. Artists can be viewed here in the gallery, obviously with social distancing and mask, and we will sanitize you as you come into the door. And we welcome all people to come, and please check via Facebook ArtEC PE or Instagram ArtEC PE if you want to find out whether we're open. But we'll be open from Monday until Friday for viewing every week, from Tuesday till Friday, every week like that until the 19th. And this is our last exhibition for 2020.
So we would like to thank very much our partners that have collaborated with us, the ArtEC Gallery Board members, the gallery curator, the arts fraternity at large, the arts scholars, enthusiasts and investors, as well as the Nelson Mandela Art Museum for extending this invitation to the larger arts community.